this episode of Kim in the Kitchen. So yesterday I spent a good part of my day picking all of my apples, and so I decided that today I would go ahead and do my apple butter and film that for you guys because I've had a bunch of y'all want to know exactly how I make it. So first things first, I picked over 150 apples yesterday, and so you need to wash all of them, then we're going to peel them. I'm only going to do about 7 pounds at a time because I do them in my big crock pot because I let them cook all day. So I'm going to peel as many as I think will fit in my crock pot, and then I'll do the first batch and then I'll do another batch. So we'll go ahead and I'll show y'all how I get everything going, and we'll get this apple butter started because it is amazing. It's like the best thing since sliced bread. It's pretty good on sliced bread also, but anyways, it's pretty tasty. I've given it to a bunch of people as little happies and they really love it. Our class made it in school last year, and we gave it away to all the administrators that were there, and so they loved it, and our class loved it because it was something they got to see from the very beginning to the very end. We started with peeling them, washing them, peeling them, cutting them up. We put them all in the crock pot, let them cook all day, and then we canned them at the end of the day. So it's pretty awesome to watch that, and watch kids like see, because a lot of the kids really don't like fruit and don't like vegetables, but they tried it because they had made it. So if you get your kids in the kitchen, a lot of times they will eat the stuff even if you don't think they will. They will because they've made it, and it just makes it a special experience for them. So let's get these apples washed, let's get them peeled, and let's get going. Alright, you guys, I've moved all over to my sink. I'm going to show you what I have. 12 pounds of apples here, and I'm going to peel most of these just so I can go ahead and get ahead of the process because it takes forever to peel all these apples. And yes, I do this all by hand. Last year my daughters helped me, but I'm going to do most of it this year by myself because they're both working. So I'm going to work on these, and I'm going to show you how I wash them up and get them ready to go, and then I'll show you the process, and you can come along with me for the ride. Alright, so this is the full 12 pounds of apples. These are Yellow Delicious. I know they look pretty green and they look kind of gross right now. I'm going to wash them, but this is literally just from being outside. They're not all that pretty shiny like you get at the grocery store. These are really, really good apples. A lot of people use different kinds to do the apple butter. I like these. I like the way they taste at the end. They're kind of a tart apple, and I feel like they cook down really good. And I have 4 of these apple trees. I only have 3 that are producing right now, but out of 3 trees, like I say, I got and these are small trees, so I got 155 yesterday, and there's still some out there. I was just waiting until they get a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and get these started washing. Guys, so they're all washed, they're all clean. Now we're going to start the peeling process, which is going to take forever. Alright, so now I'm going to get to start the peeling process, which is the best part. So if you ever want to just come and just peel some apples, you're welcome to come on. I'll just sit on my porch with you and we can just peel away because it takes hours. So I'll come back periodically and show you guys how far we've got. Alright, you guys, I got 6 pounds done, 6 more to go. I will say that I forgot to tell you guys, I use a kitchen glove when I'm peeling just so I don't cut my hand. And I have 2 different kinds of peelers. So my hand gets to hurt and I'll swap up or whatever. So I'll let you guys watch me peel a few more like this, and then we'll get these finished and we'll start chopping them.
Hours later.
Alright guys, so what feels like 3 hours later, I finally have those 12 pounds of apples peeled, and we're going to get those chopped up, get them in the crock pot, and then I'll show you guys what I put on them before I start them. So we're going to get started chopping them up. I have a sweet little Yorkie that's sitting here waiting for me to drop some apples to her. She loves nothing more than to eat some apples while I'm sitting here cutting all these. Alright, we're almost full over here on the crock pot. Let's see. I push the envelope on this and cook as much as I can at one time because it takes so long. I probably should get another crock pot. Would help out, but I really don't have room to store it. So I just cook as much as I can at one time in the crock pot that I have, and then go from there. I usually do a bunch of apple butter, and then I do apple crisp out of them. Pretty much anything you can do with apples I do, because I usually have a ton of them. When we bought this property, the man before us had already planted 5 apple trees. So I was super excited because I love apples, and why not make my own apple butter and things like that when I can. None of my apples really go to waste. I even, some people cook down the cores. I don't. I have some sweet neighbors that have chickens and goats, so I share the love. After I core them, I take the cores over to the goats and the chickens, and they love me. They see me come in and come running because they know I have something for them. I take watermelon over there. Any kind of fruit we eat that, you know, has cores or peels or whatever, they'll eat it. They love it. Okay, so this is full. All right, so the next step is, so I used about, I'm going to say 7 pounds, okay? Because I had 12 pounds and I have not a whole lot left. So I'm going to set all this up to the side. I promise I'm going to use those other apples too. But as for right now, we're just going to do these. Alright, you guys. So we have our full crock pot. It's about, like I said, 7 pounds of apples, I think. We're going to add to that 2 cups of granulated sugar. So that's 1 cup. You just pour it over the top. Alright, so that's 2 cups of granulated. Then you're going to need 2 cups of brown sugar. It's going to look like it's not going to fit, but I promise it'll all be okay. Okay, so that's 2 cups of the brown sugar. Then you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. I use about a 1/2 tablespoon of clove. And then a teaspoon of table salt. Okay, so all that's on top. So now we're gonna cover it, and it's gonna look like it's not gonna work, but I promise it does. You just mash it down, okay? You're going to turn this on. You're gonna turn it on low. All right, so put my lid on here. You're gonna turn this crock pot on low. It's gonna cook for 6 to 8 hours. In between that time, if you're home, you can stir it just to get the stuff incorporated. But if you're not, it'll be fine, because when you get home, you can just stir it. I always just set it, and about 4 hours in, I come back and look at it. But literally, I've had people say that they've set it and like went to bed, and the next morning got up and it was perfectly fine. I just like to stir mine just to make sure everything's getting good and mixed in there. And then once it gets cooked, we'll show you the next steps of what we do to get it to apple butter, and then I'll show you guys how to can it. So tune back in about 6 to 8 hours, and we'll see what we come up with. Apple butter. It's gonna be so yummy.
Later that same evening.
Hi guys, welcome back. So it has been about 8 hours, 8.5 hours, and the apple butter is ready to be made into butter. So apples are ready to be made into butter. So now I'm going to show you guys what the next step is before we put them in the jars. So for the first thing is, I'm going to pull a little bit closer to us. You take the lid off, drop that in the sink. Then I'm going to point you over here to this. Okay, so I use this little gadget, and we'll plug it up. So this is what your apples will look like. Kind of like mushy and gushy, and they smell amazing. In this process, like about 3 hours in, you can look at them and they look like cinnamon apples, like you would get at Cracker Barrel or something like that. And you can actually eat them at that point. You can eat them now, or you can wait until you can them. It's just up to you. But they smell amazing. So what we're gonna do is put this bad boy in here. We're gonna mix it up, get it all into like a smooth consistency, and then we're gonna get it ready for the jars. So here we go, let's get it going. Okay, so now you can look at it, and it's kind of like an applesauce consistency. That is what you want. It's super smooth. I do leave a little bit of chunks of apples in there just because I like it that way, but you can take it all the way down smooth if you want. But this is the yummy goodness that is apple butter. All right, so we have all of that mixed up and ready. I'm gonna set this off to the side. I have my jars already sterilized and ready for the apple butter, so we'll go ahead and get those filled. And I have my canner going on the stove, getting ready for a boil, so we can get these jars sealed, and we're gonna get it going. All right, guys. So I got 12 half-pint jars, and I got 4 full-pint jars. So now I'm just gonna wipe these off on the tops with our clean damp rag, and we'll put our lids on, our tops and our lids on, put them on there pretty tight. Go ahead and get all of those going. So I'm going to get all these cleaned and ready for this, and then once I get all of the tops on them, we'll go ahead and get them in our canner to get them sealed. Make sure you wipe those tops off so they seal good. You don't want anything to keep you from this after you've worked 8 hours on this stuff all day, because I'm here to tell you that it took a minute. So, if you were listening earlier, I did 12 pounds of apples today, and this is the 12 pounds. I did one crock pot and then a small crock pot of the extra that I had left over. So this is the full 12 pounds of apples that I peeled this morning. So this is an all-day thing. You have to put them on, and then they cook for the 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. Then you mush them, get them all mushed up, then get them canned, and then put them in the canner to get them sealed, and then you can eat it. I did save some, so we're going to do a taste test in a little bit. And when you put these in the canner, they need to stay in the boiling water for 10 minutes because these are not as acidic as tomatoes or something like that, so they don't have to stay quite as long. So just 10 minutes for them to be sealed. Alright, you guys, we got them all ready to be canned. They're all cleaned, got the caps on them, ready to move them over to our canner and get them in the canner. We're going to put these in for in boiling water for 10 minutes. Once that's up, then we'll set them on the counter for 24 hours till they seal. Then they're ready. They'll be sealed and ready. They'll last, like I say, for a very long time. If they don't seal, you can always do like I said before, put them back in the canner for another 10 minutes, see if they'll seal that way, or otherwise you can put them in the fridge, go ahead and open them and start eating them. So let's get this all transferred over here and we'll get them in the canner. Alright, you guys, got my canner ready, so I'm going to go ahead and carefully lower these half pints down in there. You want that to be covered about 1 inch of water on top of those jars once you get them in your canner. I'll show you guys how it's going to look once I get them all in there. So you're just going to carefully lower them down in the boiling water. And I love this canner. It is an extra large one. My mom got me this for my birthday, and I am absolutely in love with it. Last year I had to use just a regular pot, and it took me forever because I could only do like 3 cans at a time, and this one will hold up to 12 at a time. So it is amazing, and I am so blessed that she got this for me because it is such a time saver. Because before I would have been doing 3 for 10 minutes, 3 for 10 minutes. So now I get to do 1 big set and then 1 small set. Alright, so I have all 12 in there. It's covered up, at least you need it at least 1 inch over your lids to make sure that they're good and getting sealed. We have to bring this back up to a rolling boil. Once it becomes to a rolling boil, then we'll set our timer for 10 minutes, put the lid on it, let it boil for 10 minutes, and then they'll be sealed. We'll pull them out of the boiling water. So we're just going to wait for this to boil. I'm going to show you guys what they look like in there. All 12 of them going. So we're just going to wait for them to become up to a rolling boil, and then we will be ready to get this going. Alright, you guys, it is up to a rolling boil. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes, put the lid on, and we're going to sit here and watch it for the next 10 minutes. Once that 10 minutes is up, they'll be sealed and ready to sit over on the counter for the next 24 hours until they're ready to yum and eat and put away or store or whatever you want to do with them. But I will tell you here, they don't last very long because a lot of my people want them. A lot of my friends want a jar, or I've given out a lot of jars, or people have bought jars, or we eat jars, or whatever. So they don't last very long here. So I think I put up 40 jars last year, and I have 3 left that I saved for us just in case, because my youngest daughter loves it on biscuits. So I saved her a few jars, and I ended up giving one of those jars to my neighbors about a week ago because their little girl was like begging for one. So I always share with them just because they have 3 little girls and they love it. So so needless to say, I'll get a good bit of jars. The 12 pounds that we did today, I still have 20 something pounds of apples, so I'll do some more tomorrow. So it'll make a good bit of apple butter. So anyway, we're gonna put the lid on this, set the timer for 10 minutes, and we're gonna get this going. All right, the timer's set, 10 minutes. These will be ready. We'll pull them out and then we'll put the other four in. Okay, we'll be back in a minute. All right guys, our timer just went off, so that means our first cans are ready. So we're gonna open this top carefully. Set it over here to the side. We're gonna pull these first 12 cans out carefully because it's super hot. Drain as much of that water off of them as you can. All right, and then I'm going to drop my other 4 that I have, the full-size pint jars. I'm going to go in and put those down in there. And let those get going. Okay, so now we'll let these cook for another 10 minutes. We'll put the lid back on them and put a timer on for 10 minutes. Okay, so those are cooking. We're gonna take these over to our counter. Okay guys, so I have 12 cans already canned and sealed, and they're ready. So what I'm gonna do is put these 12 cans over here on my countertop. They're gonna sit here for the next 24 hours unmoved. And if you watched my last canning video, you know that these will seal, and if they seal, they'll pop. So we usually, the last time I did this, like 3 or 4 hours later, I kept hearing pop, 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 pop. So if you've done it right, you'll start hearing them seal in a little bit. But anyway, I just sit them over here and let them rest for the next 24 hours. And then in 24 hours, they're ready to give as gifts. They're ready to open and eat. They're ready to store whatever you need to do for keeping them. They're ready. I do like to keep them in a cool, dark place. I actually put them in the boxes that they come in. They come in these little boxes. I keep these. I put them in these little boxes and I slide them underneath my bed because it's cool and dark in there. And nobody touches them or anything. They're covered up, so nobody bothers them. And that's just where I store mine. You're welcome to store yours wherever, but I just suggest that it's cool and dark, just because if it's hot, I don't know. My grandma always said just keep them in a cool, dark place, so that's what I do. And sometimes you have to find a good place to store them so people don't take them. And under my bed's a real good spot because nobody looks under there. So anyway, I did keep some for us to try. So I kept a little bowl because, I mean, why not? I knew everybody was going to want to try it. So I kept us a little bowl of it. So I'm going to spread a little bit on a piece of toast and give you guys a tasty. Well, I wish I could give you guys a tasty, but I am going to taste myself. Oh my gosh, it looks so good, guys. Okay, so apple butter, toasted bread. Oh my. Oh my. I will say that my favorite way to eat it is on cinnamon raisin toast, which my kids hate, but I love, and probably because my grandmother used to make it for me and put apple butter on it. Just one of those things. But it's so good, guys. If you're interested in a jar, let me know. I'll have a ton. Be happy to send you guys one. If you're interested in how to make apple butter, how to make some other kind of jelly, how to make the jalapeno cowboy candy we made a couple weeks ago, shoot me a message. I'll be happy to show you guys how to do it or help you guys through it. Thanks you guys for watching. I so appreciate all of your comments. I appreciate all your views. If you would, please hit that like and subscribe button. Send your friends. I do tons of videos on any kind of cooking you want to do. If you send me a comment on something you would like to see cooked, I'll be happy to cook it for you. And I look forward to doing this every week. Wednesdays are our savory days. Sundays are sweets. Last Wednesday I did a Dollar Tree haul, and I would love to know if you guys are interested in some more either Dollar Tree hauls or Walmart hauls, any Dollar Tree haul, anything like that, or dollar store haul where I can make a cheap meal on a budget. Let me know if y'all are interested in that, because I would love to do more of those. And send me something you want me to make, and we'll see if we can do it on a budget. Thanks you guys again for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys. Bye.